Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. And Bob, NFL season begins tonight?
Tonight. Good ball game. Kansas City and the Ravens. Should be fun.
That'll be a great game.
Wonder if Taylor Swift's going to be there. I'm sure she will.
You think so? It's going to be in Baltimore, right? You can say Kansas City at Baltimore?
I'm not sure of where's
Okay.
I think she's going to be there. That's what I heard. So.
Okay. Now I'm sure that Kelsey got her speed up.
Yeah.
No problem at all.
They're in love.
A year later, they're still going at it.
True love. You got to love it.
All right, we've got a
Said
special
he
guest.
bought an engagement ring.
What's that?
I've heard the engagement ring's already been purchased, what they're saying.
So Kelsey's told folks that he's purchased an
that's the
engagement
word.
ring?
That's what some of the players are saying. So it could be wedding bells soon.
Could be wedding bells. Now we'll find out. Well, they've only known each other a year.
Yeah, they'll get married and break up in a month. So
And then she'll write songs about it. Get some hits out of it.
That's
Once
right.
again. All right, we got a special guest in here this morning, the world famous Butch and Bob Show. Who do we have, Bob?
We've got soon-to-be interim school superintendent and former CFO Tony Williams with us in the studios. Tony, again, appreciate you coming in. First of all, like I said, there's a lot of people out there, they don't know who Tony Williams is. They don't know what her history with the school system is. So I thought you'd just start by introducing yourself and talk about your history with the school system and the years you were the CFO at Wayne County.
Okay, I'm Tony Williams. I worked with the Wayne County School District for 20 years as CFO. I left Wayne County and went to Bryan County for 3 years, and I retired, and then I started working as a consultant, working currently with 5 different school districts in working with their finances.
Okay. Well, you've agreed to accept the interim school superintendent position. Your start date September 18th. So, first of all, what made you decide to accept the position? And the press release says you're going to stay until June 30th of 2025. So, is that as long as you have agreed to take the position? Are you interested in serving full time? Do you have the qualification? What are the qualifications to be a school superintendent currently? Are there certain qualifications you have to have?
There are certain qualifications. You do have to have evidence of leadership as well as a minimum of a master's degree, preferably, school experience, but that's not a qualification. But you do have to have a master's degree at least and evidence of leadership.
All right.
I did accept the position through June 30th. That's what my contract will say. June 30th. We have not talked about anything past that date at this point. Are you interested
past that, or
it depends. We'll just see how it's going.
See how it goes.
See how I like it. This is a completely different role for me. See how the board feels and how the administrators feel, how things are going, what the community thinks.
Okay. Well, again, the board hired you to come in and look over the financials, and you appeared before that board and gave this detailed report. And I've told people on my newscast several times that everybody that's interested in the school system needs to see that report and read it, because there's a lot of significant information in there. And you cited significant deficiencies concerning audits and budgets. And that night, people sitting in the audience listening and hearing your report were just in utter amazement at what you're reporting. But in your report, you emphasized that you found nothing illegal or unethical. So I ask you, what words would you use to describe what you found? Because you've seen unethical and illegal before, to your credit.
I have.
You've been able to detect that, and thanks to you, we got rid of a couple of people that were stealing money from the school system.
Right.
So if it's not unethical and illegal, what would you call it?
So to clear the air, there's some misinformation that there are funds missing. There are no funds missing. There's been no embezzlement, nothing illegal, but there are a lot of policies, procedures that have not been followed, both state, local, and federal level. Deadlines not being met, inaccurate data. So nothing illegal, but just failure to follow the policies and procedures that were set forth.
And former board members, so some of these board members just got on there, they were notified by the state that something's wrong, that, this audit's not correct, and they just continued to double down. Why wasn't there corrections made at that point? Do you have any idea why?
The audits are public information. They are sent to the board members, but they're also posted on the school district's website as well as the Department of Audit's website. So that information's out there for the public. There were numerous school districts that received findings related to the COVID CARES funds, because sometimes the regulations came after the money came down. So there were numerous school districts that received those findings. As to what our current board the decisions they made. I'm sure that there were some discussions that took place, but I can't speak to why they made the decisions that they made regarding
and they
that.
had to know, because just to clarify how bad our audits are, people that go train for county commissioners, they stated that what they would show, they would use Wayne County's school board audit to show how not to do an audit. I mean, that's how
Wow.
the whole state of Georgia is sitting there watching on the screen. This is not how you do an audit, and they showed Wayne County. I mean, so they knew there was a problem, but nothing was. What? Have any idea why that wasn't corrected?
No,
at that time?
one of the things that I've done as a consultant is go into those school districts where they had a new CFO or a CFO that may be struggling just a little bit, and I've gone in and helped train those CFOs so that they could alleviate some of those audit findings that they've had.
Right.
So that could have been an option.
Well, again, if you just joined us, Tony Williams, soon to be school superintendent, interim school superintendent of Wayne County, our guest, former CFO. I want to start with the past 3 years, looking at the overall budget. Again, year one, a $3 million increase. Year two, a $7 million increase. And this past year, a proposed $6.9 million increase in the board box. So the school superintendent, Dr. Kelly, came in with just a $3 million increase, and no board member asked what was cut out. They simply pat him on the back and say, great job. But 2 years ago, I asked over and over, what was the $7 million increase for? And to this day, I still don't have an answer. So looking over the past 3 years, can you tell me where all this money's going? Why all these increases in the budget? 3, 7, I mean, where's the money going? Why do they need all that money?
There have been some additional positions added. I did a 5-year history when I did my report, and the school district has added several positions, most of those being teaching positions. But of course, the health insurance crisis that we have, the employer portion of the health insurance has increased tremendously, and that has had a major impact on a lot of school districts' budgets, as well as the employer portion of teachers' retirement. Again, my report was more of a surface type. I just scratched the surface. When I get in there, I'll be able to dig a lot more.
You'll be able to find out more.
Right. But the majority of the budget is made up is salary and benefits. So you're talking 76% of the budget that's salary and benefits.
Right.
So when you see an increase in a budget like that, your first thought is it's personnel. So, and that's where the majority of the additional increase went.
Okay, well, let's talk COVID money, okay?
Okay.
Congressman Buddy Carter confirmed for me that Wayne County school system, in those 3 years where the federal government just doled out money, free money, Wayne County school system received $21.7 million.
Right.
And in year two, the government's told everyone, you can spend it any way you want to. First year, there was restrictions. Second year, it's your money. Go out there and do what you want. So I ask you, what does Wayne County have to show for the $21.7 million? The CFO and superintendent told me when I asked him where that COVID money is, and you can't make this up. Well, it was COVID time, Bob. We spent a lot of money on hand sanitizer. Okay, $21.7 million on hand sanitizer? I don't think so. Your report shows a lot was spent on computers for kids and teachers when COVID hit.
Right.
But the parents tell me that the kids had to hand those computers back in at the end of the school year. They don't have those computers. So where are all these computers? Someone told me they're in a closet somewhere collecting dust. So do you know where that $21.7 million went and what we have to show for it? Got any idea?
I can't verify where the computers are physically. I can look at the expenditures to see where things were spent. So there were computers. I believe the system had an initiative to do one-to-one devices for the students. I don't know if they were sent home with them. I'm assuming that when they were doing the virtual learning, that's when the computers were handed out to the students and they were allowed to take them home. A good bit of money was also spent on, the HVAC system at Wayne County High School. That was a big chunk of the money.
How much was that? Have any idea?
The last number I saw, I think, was around $8 million, but
Okay.
I need to
So-
verify that. I've looked at a lot of numbers since then.
So air conditioned units at the
The
high school.
HVAC system for Wayne County High
Okay.
School.
So
Yeah.
we don't know about the computers at all. Can you
The
check it?
computers, I did a pie chart in the report that showed what percentage. The first round of funds, the second round of funds there was a significant amount of that budget spent on computers, student and teacher computers.
Well, like I said, everybody else has something to show for their,
Right.
So, 'cause
There were also
there was,
incentives
like I
given
said,
to the employees as well.
right. Like the first round, there was restrictions. But like I said, the second round, it was like you can do whatever you want. So places like Applin and Pierce, I mean, they improved their athletic facilities tremendously.
Right.
Turf fields, stadiums, the whole 9 yards. So we don't have it, and that's what I keep asking. Where's our 21.7? What do we have to show for our $21.7 million?
Right. In the report, I did give that breakdown regarding that. Computers, there were a couple. I think there was a truck maybe purchased for the maintenance department. The employees each got $2,000 3 separate times as a retention bonus. And, of course, the first round was spent on hand sanitizer and responding to COVID itself with cleaning, custodial supplies, the PPE, the masks, the gloves, those kinds of things.
Okay, again, if you're just joining us, Tony Williams in studio with us, former CFO, Wayne County School System, current, or soon to be interim school superintendent. So one thing you're going to deal with, I want to go to this East Blost that we
Okay.
recently voted on, okay? Approved by the voters, projected to raise $30 million, but in the referendum is the line, pay for the completion cost of James E. Bacon Elementary School. So the $64,000 question is, what is that number? We know it's in the millions, but how many millions is it? Todd Wise told the superintendent, quote, quit lying and telling people the project's $21.6 million, James E. Bacon, because that doesn't include the architectural fees, the furniture, the portable classrooms, the transportation back and forth for the students that took place during that time.
Right.
All kinds of costs that there's still a punch list, which just blows my mind. Every time I go to these board meetings, they go, we got a punch list. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This thing's not done. I mean, who are these people doing it? I mean, get them out of here. But anyway, but that's the starting point number we need to know, because before you know that number, you don't know what you have left. If it's
Right.
$9, $10 million, you don't have the $20 million. There is no $30 million. And then you talk about these two projects, the Ag Center and ROTC, which everyone understands when they voted. That's the two projects. That's the main.
Right.
Everybody understands that's a given. Everybody knew that. But the original proposal was those two buildings combined, $5 million tops. Then there was a
Right.
proposal. They almost spent $18.5 million. Luckily, people raised, no, we're not doing that. So it continues. So again, if it's James E. Bacon's close to $10 million, then the Ag Center and ROTC getting close to 10. I mean, then you buy technology, school buses, textbooks, resurfacing parking lots, athletics included in the referendum. But
Right.
and Dr. Kelly appeared on our show promoting the East Blost, and he's quoted as saying there's going to be $9 million for athletics. Can we get the $9 million check today? Can we get that? Because I don't think by the time they pay off James E. Bacon, build the ag building, build the ROTC, resurface, there is no money for athletics. That's why people who are athletic minded are frustrated. That's the
Right.
frustration. We see there's no money at all for athletics because it's gone thanks to the overrun of James E. Bacon. So can you tell me, I'm sure you just got in, like I said, that's the number you have to, that's the starting point.
Yes.
How many millions overcost? We know Martha Ross Smith was overcost. I mean, same thing happened there. It's almost $4 million in overcost there. So that's the starting point. Until we know that figure, we don't know what's left.
The James E. Bacon project had a contract that had a guaranteed maximum price, and that's where the 21.2,
See.
almost $21.3 million
Right.
figure comes in. So that's the guaranteed maximum price. It has contingency built in. There are no change orders when you have a guaranteed maximum price. There are alternates that you can add, which is included in that price. But in addition to that, you have the architect fees, like you said.
Right, and that's not
you
included
have furniture.
That's not including the guaranteed
You may
price,
have some
right?
technology. I do know the district had to rent some portables to house the students while construction was taking place. So there's those expenses. So I can't give you the total. I've got to get in there. I know that there are
But
some
you'll be able to get
invoices
in
that
there
are still
fine. Will you
outstanding.
be able
Yes,
to-
sir.
I mean, because you're a numbers person.
Yes,
I mean, that's
I
your
am.
expertise. So you're
Right.
going to be able, and like I said, Todd Wise made a good point. I mean, it didn't include the architectural fees. It didn't include the the furniture. It didn't include transport.
And that's the thing that we need to
those,
remember.
And those mobile classrooms cost money too.
Right, a lot of money.
Right, a lot of money. What's the cost of that? So we don't know what the cost is.
Right. That's the thing that we need to remember too when we go into this ag facility and ROTC. When we quote a price, that's the cost of construction. But you also have the architect fee for those, as well as any other permits, or there's lots of other expenses that go into that. So we need to remember that when we start throwing numbers out, the cost of this ag facility is going to be this. There will be additional cost added to that.
Right. Well, you were at the board meeting. Can you explain to me why they put the rifle range back in after the ROTC and started telling them they didn't want it because there was a liability issue and he didn't need it? Can you explain? I mean, that wasn't even brought up. Why was that thrown back in?
I have had very little involvement or any conversation with the board or the superintendent regarding those two facilities. I've pretty much heard what you guys have heard. So I've got to have those conversations as well, just to see what the rationale was behind some of the decisions that were made.
Okay. Also, I want to ask you, I hear this all the time. They said there's a lot of waste in the school system, and they say a lot of waste is in the front office. So have you been able to
The
look?
district office?
Yeah, the main office where,
Yeah.
because, I mean, the question I asked 3 years ago when Jay left, I mean, from that point on to now, I mean, it's a big increase on how many people work in that front office. So why so many more people in the front office than there were 3 years ago?
Again, I have not met all the people there yet. I've got to get in there, get their names, find out their roles, what their job responsibilities are, and see if I feel like we're overstaffed or understaffed. I really don't know. Again, I came in and did my report, but I still have a lot to learn I left in 2020, and a lot has changed since then. So I've got to have a lot of conversations with people just to get caught back up.
Did the school board give you instructions saying, tell us what's going on, what could be improved, how money could be saved? Did they give you any instructions like that?
When they asked me to come in as a consultant?
As an interim school superintendent.
As interim.
Because now you've got the position to be able to do that.
Right. The board asked me to come in and try to get things back in order. And I want to point out, too, there's a lot of good things going on in our school district. We have a lot of employees that work hard, and there's some really good initiatives going on. But just like with every organization, there are strengths and weaknesses. So the board wants me to come in and try to improve the relationship between the community and the school district. I know some people in the community don't have a lot of faith in the school system right now, and that's what they want me to do, is bring back the trust and get us on the right path, get us set up for whoever the next superintendent's going to be, and bring Wayne County School District back to what it can be.
With them choosing you as the interim school superintendent, I feel that's got to be their focus.
Right. The finances is definitely the focus. That's what I'll be focused on. The procedural things, and I'll work with the assistant superintendent and the team at the district level, as well as the principals, those that are more familiar with the instructional side of things. I'm going to leave that up to them. But procedurally, financially, that's going to be my main goal.
And I think another thing they want is transparency. And like
Definitely.
I said, that's why I hope you agree to come on.
Right.
I said hopefully this is the first of many times that you're on the show, because people just want the information.
Right.
They want to know what exactly is going on.
Right.
And also in your report, like I said, the superintendent is now gone. I mean, they agreed to buy him out, but your report pointed to some other lack of whatever. I mean, you could tell, you weren't naming names, but there were certain, you could just see this person, somebody's. So are there going to be more casualties to come? I know the Board of Education can only hire and fire the superintendent. The superintendent has the right to hire and fire. So are there more casualties to come, or what do you think?
I don't know. It's too early to say. I need to get in there and evaluate everything. Of course, I'm not going to make any decisions without having a plan in place. I'm not going to make a knee-jerk reaction to anything. I'm going to be methodical about it and make sure we have a plan for whatever changes need to take place.
I know the state likes to get involved in every aspect of education in the state of Georgia, which they should. Do you go, now that you're going to be school superintendent, interim school superintendent in a few days, do you have classes, courses, anything that you go to?
Yes, sir. There's actually a fall bootstrap that I'll be attending in October, and there's also a new superintendent professional development program. That's something I need to discuss with the board. If I'm only going to be here through June, then it may not be worth the district's money to put me through that. But if there's something that they want me to continue past June, I may go through that new superintendent professional development. And there's a lot of different superintendents that are very experienced that have already reached out to me offering their phone number, call me anytime you need me. So I think I'll have a really good support system.
Good. It's good to have that support system.
That has been the benefit for me, having worked in all these other districts since I retired, that I have those people I can lean on.
All right. I want to talk about the uncertified teachers.
Okay.
51 in the Wayne County school system is the figure they said at the board meeting. So we had the governor on talking, because you go to these meetings, they want to blame the governor because the governor gives these pay raises to teachers.
Right.
The pay raises are going to certified teachers, not uncertified
Right.
teachers. And we had the governor on the show, and when I asked him that question, he got you could tell he was angry that the question was even being asked, because he's sending, if it's a certified teacher, they're sending the money.
They are.
They're not sending money for the uncertified teachers. So when you decide to pay the uncertified teachers, that's coming out of the local school bill. Is that correct?
We earn the position. We can earn the position of a non-certified teacher, the position. We do lose money in training and experience, and we have to pay them on a provisional level. But one of the things that I do want to look at is teacher compensation, because all of those districts around us are paying considerably more. And I believe that Wayne County's having a hard time recruiting teachers that are certified because our pay does not meet some of the districts that surround us geographically.
Well, right now, Wayne County's got competition as well. You got a Christian school, and there's a second Christian school about to begin.
Yes.
So there's other options. So
Right.
that's becoming a problem as well
Right.
that people need to
Right.
understand. But, I mean, when you send your kid to a public school, you expect him to be taught by a certified teacher,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I mean, there's a big difference between a certified and uncertified teacher.
There is.
And that
There
just seems like a
is.
high number to me in the Wayne County school system. I mean,
It's
is that-
considerably higher than some of the other districts that I've been involved with. Again, my understanding is that we're just not getting that many applications from those who have been through an actual education program at a college. So that's been my understanding. Again, a lot of these questions are things that I've just got to get in there.
Right, I understand. You just got
and
there.
dive
so,
in
right.
But I do know that I received from First District RESA a listing of all the teacher salaries for our area, and Wayne County's on the low end. So that's something that I want to talk to the board about and see if there's something we can do about that to maybe recruit.
All right. Well, I'll just let you know, when your name first surfaced, I was like, that would be a good move.
Thank you.
Because I said, we've had a working relationship. Like I said, I
Yes.
know how well you know financials. And like I said,
Right.
and I give you a lot of credit for that fiasco that occurred years ago when no one wanted to do anything. But you were able to get the right information to the right people. The GBI got involved,
Right.
and that problem resolved itself with arrest and
did.
2 convictions.
It
And
did. I'm a
those
bit
people-
of a perfectionist,
but
and I have
like
high
I said-
standards.
like I said,
You've got to be when you're.
like I said,
you're
you're in the
numbers.
book. What a mess! What a mess! What a mess! History of Wayne County athletics. So you're.
Yeah.
So like I said, we've got a long working relationship, but I have
We
a lot
do.
of confidence in you, and
Thank
I just
you.
hope you come on the show. Like I said, Butch and I talk about all. We just want people to come in and give because all people out there, they want the information. They
Right.
want transparency. They just want to know what's going on, especially with their school system.
I do believe in transparency. When the school district is dealing with people's children and people's tax dollars, and
Right.
those are the two things that people will get the most
That's
upset
right.
about.
When you deal with their
so
children
I
in
do
mind.
believe in
Right.
transparency. If you don't have anything to hide, there's no reason to not have conversations.
Right. So again, September 18th is your first day, right?
is.
Have you been in touch with Miss Collins? How's it going with her?
Daily.
Because
Daily.
I mean, they've kind of made it obvious at the board meeting. She's stepping in, but she really
Right.
doesn't want the position. She's
she
comfortable.
doesn't
where
feel
she-
like she's ready. She has younger kids at home still, so she still wants to be able to devote some time to her family. She has been really, really good about keeping me informed with what's going on a
right.
daily basis. we have been in constant communication with one another. I feel like we're going to make a great team. She's going to be really, really good to work with.
Okay.
Tony, we appreciate you coming in this
Thank
morning.
you.
Good luck as the interim school superintendent. We know you'll do a great job.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Find me that number.
I will find you. I'll find you lots of numbers, Bob.
Lots of numbers.
Lots of
But
numbers.
I'm telling
Explain
you,
them in
I just-
elementary
I
terms
just
about
want
it.
to, I just
Okay.
want to stress before that's the number that has to be known before you know how much of that $30 million you have left.
That's exactly right.
Because that's what's in that referendum. A lot of people did not read that referendum. They read
We're talking about the overrun
Right,
on James E.
right.
Bacon's place he's
They
talking
know
about.
it's the Ag Center. They know it's the ROTC building. They know it's resurfacing parking lots, technology, school buses.
Right.
But athletics is in there as well. And again, you might want to go back and listen to that show as well, because Mr. Kelly said we got $9 million, but I don't see it.
Okay. Bob, Tony, have a good day.
Thank you. You
All right.
too.
All right. World famous Butch and Bob show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, brought to you by First Southern Bank, Murphy Builder Supply, and the service department at GNS Auto Sales on North 1st Street in Jesup.